Howdy everybody, Scott Grove, Dr. Groovy, GroovyMusicLessons.com, here again with Season 2, Episode number 6 in Ask Scott Grove Anything. I just posted up a couple links that one buddy of mine, he made a groovy video about some guy that's got a major cussing problem, who has a problem with me having a major cussing problem. And he put it together with the whole, what was it this? The other movie. Go look at it. And then about somebody, because Gibson, yeah, they're doing all kinds of weird crap in 2015, so yeah, all their guitars are going up 29%. So a guy kind of did the Hitler thing. A lot of people do the Hitler movie where they put subtitles on it, but it was pretty funny with the Gibson guitar stuff on there. But yeah, Gibson, they're taking all the prices up more and more and more. You know what is funny, and is if you've watched, it's one particular video that Gibson just put out. They're doing a lot of things to their guitars that I've been bitching about for the last few years, so you gotta wonder, because all the new improvements that are happening are definite improvements. Number one, the nut is finally going away. It's a brass nut that has a built-in 0 fret, and you can adjust the nut up and down. Plus you have a built-in 0 fret on the nut, and it's a metal nut. Finally. And they also have nice snap-in, like on their Les Pauls and everything, the pick guards. There's no holes to put them in, so you can put them in or take them out. Just snap them into the 2 pickup rings that come with it, and just snaps right in, and very cool. It's not worth an extra, you know, $600 cool, but just to let you know, yeah, they're doing everything they can to Paul Reed Smith out some of these things. They're going to a lot of the major quilted maple tops and adding major abalone inlays on those, and then doing real mother of pearl inlays on their guitars instead of the plastic crap, and putting on the knobs that have the abalone looking junk on them too, and just kind of adding a whole bunch of extra bling that doesn't cost much, but you know, the prices are going way up. So let's see if they survive 2015. But again, they're going to be nicer guitars, and everything's still doing the splittable pickups, which they're still calling coil tapping on their humbuckers, but they don't know any better, so be it. But at least, you know, you're getting single coil sounds, you're getting humbucker sounds, you're getting a good nut finally next year, and so forth. They haven't messed with the bridges. They need to do that, but either they'll get there or they won't. Okay, so today, let's see where we're at. Again, I read all these backward, and actually, so in the order that they were received. So if you hit your button and actually go down to where it says not most popular videos, but newest first, then you would actually go all the way down, open up every single thing where it says, you know, read more, and then 14 people, you know, replies to this and all that. That's the way I print these out. So if you want to go way on down, that's how I do it. Okay, we're going down to SAV 7152, actually a good buddy of mine. I hate to hear this. Okay, very cool dude. just wish I could meet all these people in person. He asks, so some serious question right off the bat, actually, so it has nothing to do with music, which is fine and dandy. He says, hey Dr. Groovy, what is the toughest situation you have gone through in your musical career, and what did you do about it? Okay, the toughest situation musically was, God, having to stop, I guess. Just being forced to stop, which is what leads into your next question. The idea of actually stopping, getting off the road, and settling down was okay with me, because I knew some folks here, which happened to be some of the same folks I'm currently playing with, plus another lead singer guy. You can see him. There was a band called, it was different back then, but when I came back to town it was called Southern Choice was the name of it. There's a couple videos of that band in one or two of its transitions, but yeah, at one point we had the fiddle player and Derek, the drummer, and this other guy who sings some of my songs on my Reverb Nation channel. Somebody asked me who sang my favorite song on there, the All Good Girls Go to Heaven. That guy's name is Eldon Hunt. He was the lead singer of that band. You can, once you listen to his voice over there at the Reverb Nation, Scott Grove, the first song, All Good Girls Go to Heaven, and he also sings How Can I Miss You If You Won't Go Away. Once you hear those songs, then you'll be able to definitely tell his voice from mine, where I'm singing, if you go over there, there's a song called You're So Easy to Get Over When You're Under Him. Yeah, you're easy to get over when you're under him. That one I'm singing on, then you'll be able to tell our voices apart and tell the difference. So for the people who are asking, you know, which ones do I sing on, which ones he's singing on, then again, I made everything right here on the Tascam 2488 here in the room, and all the songs are on there. So the getting off the road thing was fine, like I said, because I knew I was going to still play. I would do something as far as a job, which ended up being that State Line Casino thing, you know. And then playing weekends. So that was fine as long as I was still playing. But then the strokes hit and everything was over with. So that was the toughest thing. So I know that your question right here goes right into the next, into that. So that I will answer all at once. I'm going to fill everybody else in on the rest of your question, or the second question. And the second question is, other than your ordeal with your stroke, what was your biggest obstacles in life? Okay. Other than the stroke, what was my biggest obstacles in life? Okay, so I had read it incorrectly, so but I'll still answer it, of course. I ask these because I find myself in these situations and could use some encouragement. Other than the stroke thing, what's your biggest obstacles? What have they been? Okay, so I think, let me make sure I got the first one covered, just to make sure, because you're such a cool dude, I don't want to miss anything. Yeah, as far as, and you know the whole story about after the stroke, first one, then I started doing more videos, and then another small stroke hit, and then I just kept doing videos and kept doing them, and that's what I did until I just said, I can't get out of this. I have to get out of this house or I'm going to go nuts, but I'm afraid to even, you know, walk out the door. So when I knew these guys needed somebody in their band, they knew what the situation was with me, you know, that when their lead guitar player took off, it's like, man, can I really flip and do this? Can I get out at a moment's notice, or just know that I know they play a lot. You know, I've got, you know, a couple more gigs this weekend. One of them's back where the first one's just in St. George, Utah. It's a Major League Baseball theme party at a real swanky joint. Second one's back in Duck Creek, Utah, where the penis tree is. So a couple gigs there. So it was really, it's just like I had to get in it. My wife just knew I had to get in it too. She was just do it. It'll be good for you to walk over that threshold, you know, just to walk outside. It's just, you have to, otherwise you're just gonna sit here and get bed sores and die, you know, which was what I was planning on doing. The first year was nothing but sitting here getting bed sores and just shitting myself everywhere, and went in and had a sphenoid sinus operation right up into my flipping brain. That was fun. There's all kinds of fun things, but the thing in life that you're asking about, other than the stroke, the biggest ordeals of obstacles in life, those have always been the same thing, and that is, and how do I get over it? I still haven't got over it, man. I wish I had an answer for you on this. This has been going on since I was 18 at least. You know, since I graduated high school, I was on the road, and you got to consider when that would have been, which would have been '83, and never got off the road. Just got on and went and went and went and went until I moved out here. You know, I went and did a short couple year stint back in Indianapolis right before I moved out here. That was with a band called Crackers that I have posted on here. As far as any stuff staying at home, then I moved back out here in April 1st, 2001. And but everything from when I graduated on, big family. Are we close? We're close as any family, I guess. But it was a fact, I guess. There were no phones. I mean, there are phones everywhere. My fault just as much as anybody's fault, I guess. But people just die a lot in my family. I guess they die a lot probably in everybody else's too. But since my life is the only one that I really look after, and I don't really think too much about other people's lives, I guess that's normal. I don't know if everybody else is involved a lot in other people's lives. You know, we've just never been people who hang out with other people and get close to other families and such, you know, so we just have each other, and that's, you know, the way it's been, you know, just band members, and that's all I've known. But people would keep dying, my grandpas or what have you, lots of cousins dying. Had a 16-year-old, well, she died when she was 16, my first cousin, and died of the toxic shock, you know, the tampon poisoning thing that very few people even die of. And I wouldn't find out for 6 or 8 months on almost all of them. And that's still pretty much the only time the phone rings here is when somebody dies, you know, from my family. But yeah, I'm just like the last person that anybody thinks of. But there was no way for anybody to get a hold of me on the road. You know, there was no cell phones, there was nothing. There was me out there just playing and just blowing all my money all the time on basketball and baseball cards, and just having to have a hobby, so just nothing else to do. Me and a drummer, we'd hit every ball card shop in every town and collect those, and that's just how we passed our time. So we blow every cent we ever made into that stuff. Yeah, so I guess just the whole not having a family with you and feeling left out. But then again, the technology of the time, you know, I could have picked up a phone too, because I would have been the only one who could have found anything out. But even when I would make calls back home, you know, people wouldn't tell me stuff. They would just wait till the next time, or the next time I called, which was every 6 or 8 months. I would probably call somebody at home and try to get the scoop. And then finally somebody would say, oh yeah, and then, you know, when Donna, when she died, it's like, when she died? It's like, oh, that's been like 2 years ago. It's like, well, how come nobody has ever said anything in a conversation? So that just hurts, you know, that you're just left out of the loop. But I guess, you know, it's my choice to go away. Everybody else stayed. Nobody else is moving away from town. I mean, everybody still lives in Indianapolis. That's where everybody's at. So, yeah, that. So, I imagine now, since everything is so thin, and that my brother-in-law just passed away recently, and it's just time for my folks to. So I'm sure somebody will let me know about that. But the last few times, even when my brother did, they're like, yeah, don't worry about coming home. You know, you stay out there and keep playing. It's like, you don't want me to come home for the funeral? It's like, no, you keep doing what you're doing. So, just grab my old paint guitar and, you know, sit back down in the hotel room, and, you know, you just wonder why they would, you know, say about your brother, nah, you don't need to come home for the funeral, just stay out, keep doing what you're doing, we got it covered. It's like, well, shit. You know? So how do you overcome that kind of thing, man? I don't know. You know, like I said, it's just down to Mom and Dad and my sister and my mother's mother. And that's it. Rosie's parents are long gone, my wife, and her brothers and sisters will be passing on soon, but so I'll have that. But yeah, so it's the whole death thing, I guess, and just not being included, and just you're the last one they think of to tell, you know. So, but then again, it was, like I said, it was just the times. It was hard to get through it. They couldn't get a hold of me, and they knew I wasn't going to get a hold of them for months. So I guess they would just forget that they didn't tell me, maybe. So there's that. 15 minutes on that, but you know, you're worth it, man. You're a good dude, and always appreciate you around, and hope you have some, God, you could use some encouragement. God, the only words of encouragement I can do is just the ones that my wife gave me. It's just like, you know, instead of sitting there and whatever you got to deal with, man, just at some point you got to just put one foot in front of the other and just continue. Go back doing what you do. You know, she just said, you play guitar, that's what you do. Go do it. You know, she goes, I know we don't need the money, we don't need any of that, you know, but she's like, I don't want to be here alone, so, you know, just the little weekend things will be fine or whatever, but you have to get out of here and go do that, because she goes, like, I almost cry every time I see you in there playing. You know, I watch, and, you know, the door might be open a little bit. She's like, I'll look through, and you just got your eyes closed, and she goes, just some of that stuff you play, and you just look like you're somewhere else, and somewhere happier than here. So she's like, just cross that fucking line, man, go out. You know, she would never even say the F word. But yeah, I guess she's right. You know, I need to do it. And I hurt myself every time I leave here. I come up with something. I trip over everything. Nothing heals anymore because I'm old. Everything stays, it looks like a fresh wound whenever I get anything done. But man, you just got to keep going. So you do. You know, somebody has to push you. So if you ever need a push, give me a shout. Because yeah, it took Rosie to push me to get me out the door, just to go be happy. Despite whether I'm happy in the level of what I'm playing and blah blah blah, or whatever the situation is totally irrelevant. It's just the fact that I need to get out and I need to go play, and I need to find that one moment in each night that you hope you have where everything just clicks for a second and you remember again why you love music. Even though you're playing the same stuff over and over again, there's bound to be a point when you actually go solo and you play one solo that just, you know, makes your blue balls go back to, you know, the nice peachy color they are if you're a peachy colored fellow. So yeah, just one foot in front of the other, my man. That's all I can offer. And those were my stories that you asked, so hope it helps. Okay, I'm going to go up here to a fellow going by the name of okay, Strike On Drifter. He asked 2 questions. First one is, have you ever traveled outside of the country? Yes, many, many times. Bands always taking us out of the country and stuff, and let's see. Of course, you know, just Canada and Mexico were always the easy ones. Well, I can't say they were easy. Have you ever been in the go up north of Canada, but you're still in Canada, Yukon in the middle of the winter, or go play in Alaska in February, where you have to fly in, you know, there's no roads, so you gotta, all your equipment goes on little planes, you know, via a couple trips. That's interesting. Or they fly you into the Yukon again a couple times with all your junk, and you stay there for 3 to 6 months until it's nice again. But yeah, they do that and bring bands in who are willing to do such things. So that was always fun. I like this. Do you prefer bone on or bone in? Bone in or boneless buffalo wings? You know what? Oddly enough, again, my wife is the Mexican lady. You know, she's a Spanish gal, I guess I should say. She's half Spanish, half Mexican. She loves everything spicy. She's the buffalo wing eater, but if I have them, which is like once a year, yep, leave the bone in. You know, I just need something to get I just gotta have that primate thing going on, so I like to suck on the bone. I looked at the camera when I said that, just so some people like to make those little GIF files. I like to suck on the bone and then keep repeating it. And my one buddy out there that keeps making videos lately, leave that one alone. I like to suck on the bone. But mine are mild. You got to give me the mild stuff. I don't do hot stuff. Let's see. Here's Harry. I guess his last name is going to be Death, but there's an apostrophe between the E and the A. Oh, he's asking also about the Chapman guitar. Ever thought about buying one? Yeah, I've actually thought about it, but there's nothing that I would want that has been out there yet. There's just nothing with 3 single coils that are in the right place that would make me want to buy one. So, you know, I hate guitars that don't have a finish on them, you know, especially a poly finish, because I like them to look nice and shiny. You know, I'm not into bare wood looking guitars, and I'm not really into upside down, you know, headstocks either. But if one came along at the right price, I would try it. But it would have to be something that I would either then just resell, just because I do the video and then just resell it, or donate it to somebody if it wasn't something I like. But yeah, I'd like to check one out just to see. But then again, one guitar is never a fair representation of an entire company either, because I doubt that Rob ever actually even sees any of them to know if what's actually going out is worth a crap. So whereas even though it's at the same place that makes the PRS Korean guitars. Those come back into town, and PRS, they check them out, and it goes through their quality control service. Then it goes out. But I doubt that, you know, shipments of guitars all go to Rob's house, and he checks every single one out and makes sure it's right and it's set up just right before he stamps it and says send it back out. So it would be hard to judge one. And again, like I said, with every model out there, not one is basically a Strat. Everything's shaped like a Jackson Soloist or a Telecaster. So if you can get one of those Tellies and actually put single coils in it instead of humbuckers, because everything has stacked single coils, so they're humbuckers that are stacked on top of each other, blah blah blah. So yeah, I would just want three in there. I could always cut a hole in it for the middle one, but it wouldn't be a fair representation of it. So then again, I have other guitars here where I've cut holes in them for the middle pickup, so I could always try. But again, if they would offer something that had a nice 22 fret neck, no 24, no whammies, no nothing, just bare bones and a finish and a headstock that is right side up is a must, because of as much over the nut bending as I do. I can't have the low strings being the ones that are loosest, because I need to bend the high strings over the nut like a step and a half. So upside down headstock wouldn't do it. So, and he also asks any thoughts on the Eddie Van Halen guitars that are out now. Who makes them now? Fender, probably. I'm sure it has to be Fender. Somebody new makes them every time they come out. I have no experience with them at all. I can honestly say that well, there was one or two of the old ones, the black and yellow ones that Roman made. There was a time when they were all being outsourced, but had a name on them, but Ed Roman was only responsible to build the black and yellow versions of that run, and it wasn't the Kramer run or anything. It was just another period in history. But there was some sitting there, but I never bothered to grab one and try it out. But the new ones I haven't even seen other than a catalog, so I honestly wouldn't be able to answer the question with any real anything behind it. So I honestly don't know, so I can't say. But I appreciate the questions, my man. I'm sure they're fine for and what they're for. God knows what Eddie's actually playing right now. I'm sure if it's anything like the one that they have there, I'm sure that Fender themselves don't make it. You know, I'm sure it's just somebody else, just like everybody else does, that you get an inferior version of their versions. Okay, let's see. I don't know if I can pronounce this, but let's go with WHLKE, unless my printer is really bad. Last name Turner. Says, hey Scott, I enjoyed your analysis and explanation on tone woods. Which one? There's like 30 of them. I was so obsessed with it. It is simple science. Would do a similar breakdown on, it says, would you do a similar breakdown on string gauges and tone? I think of how some players with thick strings use extremely thin gauges. Okay, with thick sounds, use extremely thick gauges, which I'll finish this. See, I also think of monkeys who evoke Stevie Ray Vaughan's choice of thick gauges as gospel. I'm not at all surprised by your choice of okay, then I'll do the rest. Okay, so the whole thick string gauge thing. Yeah, like, you know, you're talking, again, Stevie Ray. The only reason he played 13 gauges is because of the way he tuned down. Anybody else that knows more about him, because I don't study Stevie Ray in any way, shape, or form. I don't study anybody. I don't read about anybody other than the Goofy Kiss folks, you know, see what kind of trouble they're getting into. But as far as I know, yeah, that he would always tune to E flat and therefore have to beef up the gauge just to make it feel right again. So, but to go to 13s, that's pretty flippin' heavy. So that's, you know, about like me going to 11s in regular E tuning, you know, standard 440 tuning. They're, when you get them that thick, that flippin' thick, then yeah, there has to be a little bit of tonal difference, but it's not going to be enough that a simple, it's not, it's just because there's more mass there on the actual string, and the pickups do pick up the strings. So as far as Billy Gibbons goes, playing 7-gauge strings or 8s, a lot of people do that and get huge sounds. How do they do it? Turn up the bottom end, turn up, there's a knob on the amp that says bass, they turn that up, turn where it says treble, turn that back a little bit. Same thing with these. So it's, with the string gauges, it's nothing more than a tweak on an amp. Whatever you want it to sound like, there it is. Change it on your amp, make it the way you want it. Speaker cabinet will make more, you know, all the difference in the world. So if for some reason things just sound too thin, if you're using an open back cabinet, throw a closed back cabinet up there with it and everything will be fine, you know. So it's not that huge of a thing. Again, yeah, it's nothing that your knobs on the front of your amp or even on your guitar. Some folks like to just take their tone knob and stick it like half if they're using thin strings and just kind of leave it there just to, it does something in their brain that says, okay, that's compensating for it. And if it works for them, that's fine. He also says, I'm not at all surprised by your choice of comedians and your ranking of them. Seems to fit your own style. I found 2 George Carlin records at a garage sale when I was 10 or so in the mid-70s. Changed my life. Man, I hear you. Of course, when I was that age, I was listening to Carlin, and I was listening to a lot of Cheech and Chong back then. Me and the brother would sit there, roll a few up in the bedroom and try to blow the smoke out Mom and Dad's window and listen to Cheech and Chong stuff and George Carlin. And we actually got off on Cosby too, even though he was so squeaky clean. But yeah, as I've got older, oh God, this sciatica crap is not going away. I'm going to stand for just a second. I actually had a phone call. I've got 2 different doctors working on this sciatica thing. One's a neurologist, one's a moron. Or, I mean a Mormon. And one 6 weeks ago put in for an MRI for me. The other one, my neurologist, 2 weeks ago put in for an MRI for me. Neither MRI has been put through, and they have not called me to go have one done yet. So I get a call from the neurologist today, not the neurologist but his assistant, and says, Scott, you're supposed to be in today to discuss what they found on your MRI. Oh, it looks like nobody has taken one yet. Well, I'll call you back and try to get you in to get... It's like, you fuckers. They always slack off, man. Doctors are the worst. They're horrible. So people ask if I'm feeling any better with that stuff. None. 0. Hasn't went away at all. Not letting up. So that sucks. Okay, let's go on to... I'm not in a million years going to be able to pronounce your name, my friend. Sorry. I'm going to spell it, though. K-O-E-N. Last name V-R-A-N-C-K-A-E-R-T. I just couldn't spell it. Well, yes, I just did. I just couldn't pronounce it. So sorry, my man. It says, "Hey Scott Groove, Dr. Groovy. First of all, I'd like to thank you for all the content you put out. Your lessons make me a better player." And that's all I want, man. All the other drama that comes with it is whatever it is. If somebody else actually feels better about playing, then all this wacky shit, whatever it is, here on YouTube has all been worth it. It really is. It's just something I had to do, and I'm glad somebody learns something. It says, see, lessons make me a better player, all the while making dumb motherfuckers lose their heads, including mine. I've been laughing mine off. In short, keep it rocking. It says, I have 2 questions. Good. Could you share some of your expertise on acoustic guitar pickups? Okay. UST, the SBTs, magnetics, and mics, and how they affect the sound plugged in, unplugged, and how to set them up. I'm looking for an upgrade for a Collings. Nice Axis. I need to get one of those too, just to have one. They're coming out of nowhere. They're just like making a huge splash right now. So if anybody hasn't checked out Collings guitars, check them out. Says, but fear permanent installation and drilling would do harm to the instrument, and especially the sound it makes now. Arguably making me a dumb motherfucker. Let's see, dude. I wouldn't touch it. I'll do a video on it. Okay, that's what I can do. God, to modify the Collings acoustic. God, putting holes in it, and then there's not really anything good. I mean, God, let me do a video on that one. It's I like the way that Taylor goes about it. Granted that they do have one stuck under the bridge, but with the other mics being placed throughout the body and up underneath the fretboard, right by the sound hole, mic under there. Well, they're the help me out, my man. Like a transducer type, or suction type thing, but they mount directly to the inside. So if that wouldn't compromise your guitar, but then again, you have to, it's active, so batteries, and holes and places to plug it in. God. It just depends, I guess, on if you want to keep it forever. I will make a video on that and show what different mics will do and what the best route is to go and let you hear some, and that will require me to actually hook crap up, but I guess I will for once. But yeah, to put holes in a guitar like that of any kind, if that's your one and only guitar and it's going to be with you forever, do it. If you can bring yourself to it. You just have to, God, I would almost have Collings do it, to have them take the top off themselves and, you know, put it back on, but then put the system in, like the Expression 2 system is really nice, but so it picks up exactly what frequencies it should and where. I would have them do that if you're going to do it. That way it's done exactly right. Because, I mean, that Taylor sounds like a son of a bitch when you plug it in. Just the way that it was done and just the places they choose under which style of bracing and at what point, you know, they, just like you know, every single place is going to resonate differently. So that's what I do, is talk to Collings instead of me, but I'll still make the video and see if they do such a thing, and if and I'll let you hear all the other ones like you're talking about, the different systems and the different mics and so forth. But if you plan on keeping the guitar forever and you want to be able to simply just plug it in and go, and I don't know exactly your situation, if you're going to be a recording thing all the time, or if it's a live act, or if it's a bluegrass deal where you're still going to be using some mics, or if it's a studio thing where you want to blend the plug it in with the 5 mics in the guitar, or 5 pickups in the guitar, or in conjunction with various condenser mics. So ask Collings and see if they would do that, because it's real easy to lift the top off, as you know, off your guitar and put it right back on and never look like anything happened. So I'll do a video on that one, and then I would have to ask them about simply doing that. And of course, as you know, taking the top off and putting it back on, it's not going to change anything, so don't worry about that. Have you ever been to Europe? Yeah. If so, which countries did you visit? Oh, which countries did you visit? What brought you there, and how did you like it? If where would you like to go and why, and all that stuff. Dismal, man. As far as like over in England, it's just I don't know, I guess it'd be like Oregon or Washington here. It's just, it seems dismal, and it seems, I don't know, I guess we have too much shit here in America, but then again, I never get out of the house. So I was left unimpressed with just, you know, England, you know, London area. Just historical junk, bleh, who cares? I really don't. And everything was just dreary, and people could use a dental plan. I'm sorry, but you know, there's stereotypes for a reason. And then where would I want to go? You know, so other than, you know, Canada and Mexico, of course, which are not really out of the country, other than they're just part of the Americas, and South America, Brazil, which was actually cool. But I've had a weird thing, just my whole life, I just have to go to Australia. I don't know why, before I die, and I don't know why or for what reason. And do I sit around and MapQuest it and look around? No, I look at weird places. I go to Iraq or Afghanistan and try to look around there on the Google Earth, I mean, try to look at places, but something says for me to go to Australia, and I don't know why, but it's just a longing I've had for so long, and that's where I want to go, and I don't know where, and don't know why. A lot of people are telling me that live there said, why would you want to come here? I said, I don't know. They said, you're not going to like it. It's like, then I have to go there and not like it then. So they said for me the best way to do it would just be go to Hawaii, as I do, and then go to, oh, what is the next one? The next island out there. And, you know, just chop off the time of the flight, because it's like 15 hours of flying. And I definitely can't do that. Me, the way I am. Normally I could, no problem, but with this sciatica crap I couldn't. So Australia is calling me, and the Reaper is calling me, so I have to go there. You know what I mean? You know, some things are just what they are, and so that's where I gotta go. I'll do that video, man, and shoot me a video or anything of the callings, or throw me pictures of it. Again, just at my email address here at GroovyDJs, same as my name, at AOL.com. I want to see your acts and give me a few shots around. I just love to check it out and see what size you're using and everything, you know, what model you got, and give me an idea. But I'd love to check it out. Oh, I gotta go to my buddy up here. CJ, help me answer it. I'll read the person's post, which says, they're from Shuriken, S-C-H-U-R-I-K-E-N. Says, hey Scott, if you had to choose your your next life, would you become a musician and teacher again? And then CJ down here below says, couldn't resist this question myself. If I had that choice, I would probably go with Martian, and not really kidding either. So would I become a musician again? God, I'd have to. Teacher? I'd have to. Again, pardon me while I stand up and just wriggle my butt around on my stool. Just have to... God, I hope you guys never get this sciatica shit. This is horrible. I can't explain to you how horrible it is, except for those that have it. Oh, it sucks. You never get any rest. No matter, even if you're asleep for 20 hours, you never rest. It's just always there, and you're just constantly aware of it, and and there's no, you have to, I'm a belly sleeper. I sleep on my face. You're not allowed to. You can't sleep on your back because you'll wake up screaming. If you sleep on your belly, you'll wake up screaming. So now I have to sleep on the sides with pillows between my knees and everything, and it doesn't seem to help, except for I'm laying on my left side, and there's one position I can get in that is tolerable at best. And horrible. If I could just have them numb me from the waist down, it would be great. I wouldn't mind being just stuck in a wheelchair, and that's that. If instead of feeling this, it's just that bad. Sucks. Okay, so I'll answer that from back here. Sorry to bitch, but God, this sucks. Oh, I got some. I see a couple cool questions above too. Okay, so in my next life, musician and teacher. Yeah, I'd have to do. I wouldn't do. God, would I do everything the same? No. God, it depends on when I was born, what was available to me. It's like, I don't know how that stuff works, you know, since I don't believe in anything, but I know it's all hypothetical, but I would never go on the road again. You know, I'm glad I did all that for as much as I did, because it gave me a pure perspective on a lot of things, and got to help a lot of people that were involved in lots of accidents, and comfort a lot of people as they died, and so on and so forth. So you got to be a humanitarian, and when everybody thought we were just nothing but a bunch of young, good-for-nothing punks out there, it's like we'd stop and help everybody. I would have to do it all over, and I would want to read better if I could change anything as far as that goes. I know you didn't ask it, but I would like to just be able to read better. I was taught to read, and then I just let it go. As far as sheet music goes, maybe do. God, it would be fun. I think it'd be fun to do, you know, like play on the Tonight Show, or the, you know, something like that would be kind of cool, where you're just changing stuff up all the time, playing for everybody, but not for one particular artist more than just a couple songs, and then you're done with them, you know, because when you get on tours and you're playing with certain people, you know, it's definitely not all groovy. So I would like to do that now that you actually asked me about it. So that'd be my answer, and I'd still do the lesson thing all over again, but I would reach different people who I would probably still teach the way I teach, because I would still somehow want to be me. Again, I wouldn't mind being me again, honestly. But then I could actually teach people to read music and teach people that already read music how to do so. So, here's a... Okay, this is from Gravy Loaf, not Meatloaf. People used to call me Meatloaf when I had the beard off. This question. Well, what do you think about the 1959 Gibson Les Paul and why they are so desirable? That one's easy. It's just a guitar. It's desirable in no way to anybody. I have had one 59. There's nothing special about them at all, except for the people who make them out to be. Again, it's just strictly the Jimmy Page and Eric Clapton thing that just, like I said many times ago, that Les Pauls were discontinued. Gibson got rid of them, period, in the 60s. They were gone, 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 gone. Nobody wanted them until they saw, like I said many times, the Zeppelin stuff was recorded, as we know, with a Telecaster, and then Page brought along the 59 Paul, and people got to hear him live with that. But then again, that's just the sound man making it sound as good as he could. So, and it really sounds horrible, I think. His tones live on those old albums, just horrid. But it is what it is. It's an old guitar through an old amp turned on 10, and that's just it. And nothing in between, just dry as all shit. I don't like it. Don't like the guitars, don't like the way they sound, don't like just that it's a 59. No different than a 58 or a 60. I mean, they're the same fucking guitar. It's just, it has just become synonymous with the year 59 and with Jimmy Page and with Eric Clapton saying, hey, that looks kind of cool too, I'll get one. And then that was that. It could have just as well been a Flying V or an Explorer. It would have been more exciting. Those were inventive, you know, wild guitars. Should have been something like that everybody was drawn to. No different than the Les Pauls of the time, except for the body shape. Nothing else was different. You know, they had the maple cap on there, and all of a sudden they were doing the burst thing, and but everybody picked up on the 15. There's no reason for it. It's just the internet has made it what it is, and the album cover. So you have two legends that played it, and then I'm sure Billy Gibbons has one laying around. I think. Oh, I gotta show you guys that fucking Ace Frehley video my buddy sent me. Hey, while you're sitting there, I gotta do something for you guys and just for me, because I'm gonna be a little bit selfish, like usual. Okay, I'm here, and no, I'm not editing that time out. That's where you guys pick your nose or scratch your nutsack or whatever you want to do. Anyway, there's a buddy of mine, Gary Vagoda. Gary, if you guys have been around at all, you know, you've seen the name Gary Vagoda. He's now changed his account name because I'm getting ready to do my Nigel videos again. He's called, his new name is Cousin Figel, and that's what you'll see here on YouTube. He seems to think that he's not going to be with us much longer, so everybody wish Gary well again, Gary Vagoda or Cousin Nigel. He, lives on a fixed income, has very little, and he always sends me just anything he can. He's, again, a guy who's, you'll remember, my Skinner poster over here, and I've got my other one over here, the Marty Robbins one like that, where he put down that I'm the opening band for them, and he sent me some great Kiss stuff, and he just is so selfless, and he's on his way out of this world, apparently. I don't want to face it, but he sent me a birthday card, which is very cool. He said he wanted to send it early just in case he wasn't still around for my birthday. And buddy, you better be. It's just, you develop people that you love on the internet if you let yourself love people. And it's not wrong for a guy to love another guy, and not be a fag, or to be a fag, it doesn't matter. Gary's just a great dude and has been nothing but exceptional, and there's like 24 people that stand out that I remember all the time from all this, because I just don't remember much of anything, but some people on here, God, I just wonder what they look like. Never seen a picture of Gary. I'd love to see him. Just put a face with a great individual. So, love you, Gary. And anyway, he sent me this musical birthday card, and it does the Hendrix type tear in the eyes, kid, sorry. But when Hendrix did the national anthem, it's just kind of like that, but no whammy bars, but doing the happy birthday theme. But got the Strat on here, and you just keep pulling this out, and so we'll turn the volume up and get the party started here. So you have the guitar thing, and then it pulls out, and it's from Gary here. And then when you pull it way out here, I'm going to try to get it close enough that you can hear it, because I do have humidifiers going. But just to hear the birthday song on this cool card. And and how cool is that? That's a fucking card. So, to my buddy Gary, or Cousin Nigel, just to rhyme with Nigel, I love you, man. And if you do leave me, do me a favor. If there's an afterlife, I know you'll be the one to show it to me, because nobody else has. Break all the rules, because apparently if there is an afterlife, there are rules that people can't come back here and let us know that there is, but I'm asking you to sacrifice a little bit of that if you can, and try not to get caught, but just come back and let me know. Okay? So, love you, be good, and help an old man out, and let me know if I'll see you again. Okay? Let's see. Drunken Steve. Let me get some of these out of the way. It's life, kids. He asked what are some of my favorite TV shows. Now this I could go on forever. Right now, everything is, well, they keep messing with it, but if anybody's familiar with True TV, I'm still kind of wrapped up in it. Not quite as much as I was because some of the programs have come and gone, but there's just those stupid shows that's just on there all the time. It's always on True TV here when I'm here by myself, and that's where you get a show called Hardcore Pawn. They tried to do one from out of Chicago, but it was retarded. I think that's been pulled. I hope so. There's Lizard Lick Towing. I love these goofy shows. I'll admit it. I'm hooked on them. I like the, of course, all the cops shows. I like the, what's the one where they always leave the keys behind? Bait car. All those kind of shows as far as right now. I'm forced to watch certain horrible things, you know, when the missus is home, but she doesn't mind going into the bedroom at all or sending me into there to watch whatever I want, because she's so into her fashion things where you got a bunch of guys making dresses and Project Runway and all that kind of stuff, and say yes to the dress. But when it comes down to me just saying, okay, there's nothing flipping on TV, still, every morning I watch 6 episodes of Married with Children. They run 4, and then they take a half hour off and throw on whatever, just tosses in there, and then they'll throw on 2 more, and that takes me up till about 7 or 8 in the morning, and then I go to sleep. So I watch that, but other than that, I will watch just the wholesome things. Oddly enough, I'll turn on Eddie Griffith and watch that every time. Beverly Hillbillies, you know, just stuff right around that era. My wife's actually started watching Columbo again, so that's been kind of fun actually, because it's like Columbo and the Rockford Files. She's starting to watch those, so I'm getting into them for the first time. I remember them being on, but not being interested when I was a little kid. But now they're kind of fun. But that's about it. I didn't want to like Jimmy Fallon, but I ended up, he's okay as far as the host of the Tonight Show. But I do like, God, I can't stand that Seth Meyer guy. God, what a wimpy ass. I hope he gets fired. Dave Letterman, I've always loved. He was my weatherman when I was a kid back in Indianapolis. NBC Channel 13 weatherman. He got fired for being Dave. But love Dave, and he's leaving this year. And everybody's just leaving. And I watch Craig Ferguson right after that, and he's leaving this year too. So the late night shows are all going to pot, so I gotta find something else to do. I mean, I keep paying for Netflix, but I never watch it ever. I just wait for a new comedy thing to come on, you know, a comedian stand-up, and I just let it, you know, it's a reoccurring bill on my credit card, and I just never watch anything. I actually signed up because they said there was like 34 Kiss videos on there, and there isn't a single one. That's with the DVD thing, not the ones where you can just watch it, you know, hit the button on my computer and it shows up on my TV. It's not those. So then we just decided to watch the Breaking Bad series, which was cool. So we both got to watch that, and nobody ever ruined the whole thing for us. The guys in the band had seen it, and they never ruined it for me, so that was cool. So that's me and my TV. That's kind of a weird episode, huh? But it's just, it's what people are asking, and I'll just say what I say. It's what it's about. some of them, like I said, end up being about music. Some of them take different turns, and you get to watch Scotty cry a little bit. Speaking of which, here's William Smith, William Old Smith. He's talking about here too the same thing. He says a channel for Nigel will be the best thing ever. I hope so, man. I love Nigel. I hope people just get it, and just flat out just get it and leave it alone and enjoy it for what it is, and don't discuss it too much with me. As weird as that is, I want it to be its own thing, and just, you know, you can ask Nigel, don't ask me anything. Because it really is, it's a whole different mindset, and just the people who like Nigel, God love you, man. You know, it's like, I just hope you dig it, because I'm gonna make sure that he actually does teach and does everything as valid as I do, or as I think I have done. But just do it as Nigel, you know, as only Nigel can. And I know there's gonna be the Bible thumpers coming after it, but fuck them. Alright, let's see if I can get out of my birthday card mode. I love my card, and it's not going anywhere. It's staying here. And what is so cool is, of course, if you guys know this, you can hold things like that up to your pickups, and it will just, I mean, it will blast through your amplifier louder than anything you've ever heard. You can't play your strings louder. You can't make anything as loud as another thing that is magnetic and has a speaker. I've got a whole video on this. Anything that's magnetic, and then you put it in that magnetic field, and it comes through your amp 10 times louder than your strings can do, since your strings aren't magnetic, they're just ferrous. See, I'm learning, Will, to speak in proper language here, but now let's see. So yeah, the Nigel thing, totally looking forward to it myself. I have to get up again, man. This hurts. I'm gonna have to take some flipping drugs and then sleep all day like I don't want to. I got too much shit to do. Right up above here, let's see what time I got. Oh, I got plenty. Here's Michael, and I never know with these L's if it's an L or an I because of the font. Something DKOWSKI. Idkowski, I'm gonna say. Right there. You know, because of the font, you never know if it's a capital I or if it's a capital L. It looks just like everything else. Looks like the L on his last name, so don't know which one it is. But I'll go for Idkowski or Idkowski. He says, in the last Ask Scott Grove Anything, you said that you do road story video. I'm sorry, I'm just making noises because of this hit, man, is shit. It says, will you do this? A lot of people have been asking about the road stories, and I had actually forgot about them. So there are so many, and I'll be glad to. All I have to do, if you have to remind me every day, then remind me every day, because again, I'm just retarded, and honestly, my mind just don't remember things, and I just forget. It's just part of life. I have been robbed of my short-term memory, and I just need to be refreshed, and until I actually get one in the can and loaded up on YouTube, then I won't remember until then. So remind me, say, get a road story thing out, and a lot of people want to see this, and I'd like to make everybody happy that wants to hear about them, because there's some wacky ass times, you know, in every possible way that you could imagine. So keep reminding me. Yes, I would love to do them. What good are old stories if, you know, I can't be an old man like I am now and tell them, if you'll listen. It says, or did you do it, and I'm such a moron, I didn't see it anyway. I really enjoy, you know, hearing them. I said, many thanks. So yeah, just remind me, man. And I know you just did. So I will have to put a sticky or something on my tripod. That don't sound right, does it? Put some sticky on the tripod. And those will just be good old stories, man. There's some great stuff. Real quick, and I may have told this before, because like I said, I don't know. But just to give you one, short one, and it was a great time. Do you guys know who, what was her name? She was on Wayne's World as Wayne's girlfriend, being from, she spoke Cantonese. I remember that. What was the girl's name? Tia Carrera. Anyway, our bass player found a stripper girlfriend while we were on the road that looked a lot like her at that time. So, pretty smoking. You know, and we were in Wisconsin, in Superior, Wisconsin. We were playing on the corner, and then on the next corner, I mean, you know, we're on this corner, here's a corner, there's a street. So we would take a break, we'd go over and watch the girls dance and stuff, and then whenever they're on break, if they wanted to, they'd come over and watch us, and they'd dance and have a good time, and then go back over there and so forth. So we had our definite fun there. I'll tell the story more in depth later, but when you're there for a couple weeks and you got nothing but strippers staying in the same hotel they put you in on the same floor, because that's where all the entertainment stays on, is that third floor, and everybody just goes from room to room. If they're promiscuous and if that's your thing, then you know, it's just what you do. It's recreation. Everybody fires up with everybody and lights up and sleeps up and shacks up with everybody. Anyway, a lot of them were, you know, traveling strippers. She was the one that always went out and found the weed. She was good at finding the weed. So she ended up traveling with our bass player. Well, she travels with all of us, but that's who she would hang on to. And every town we went to, we'd go up into Canada, we'd go anywhere, she would always find a job stripping, you know, doing that, and then making sure the band was totally good. And weed, I don't know whatever happened to her. She was there for a few months. But it was nice to have just that thing, just walking around, just a little t-shirt or football jersey or whatever around whatever band house they would stick us in. And I was just back in the good old days, man, and it was just everybody wanted their shot with her, but everybody kept their cool, and everybody stayed off and went and found their own girls and stuff and let him have her, smoked up the dope she brought in, and had to pitch in, of course, you know, and help her out. And she was doing us a favor, but that was normal. You know, that was normal. That's just, you know, and that went on for, you know, a few weeks, but it was normal. And then the next week, you know, after that's done, then something else would become the norm. You know, it's just, there's some good extended versions of that, but those are the stories that a lot of people want to hear, and it's just normal. I mean, so many towns that are actually big on music will do that. They'll have an old hotel that's not much is left of it, so that's what they give entertainers to stay in, and that will be the whole town. So if you're in a town like Chicago, then you've got, you know, everything going on. You know, you've got people passed out in the hallways with needles hanging out of their arms, and you know, you're there with other rock bands, and you know, we're the Yeehaw band, and but then you've got your strippers there. Just anybody that does entertainment, comedians, anything, they just put them in this, it should be condemned, hotel. And just amazing the people you meet and the things you end up doing together. And I'll definitely do those. There's so many great stories to be told, and there's, you know, good stuff to come out of it too, not just the perverse stuff, but hey, the perverse stuff is fun too. So, road stories for sure. Again, remind me, my friend, please. Okay, so we got Roland's. Is it Dombrowski's? I know it's right. Roland's Dombrowski's. It says, "Hi Scott, what string gauge would you use for a baritone scale guitar tuned to standard E, and what do you think about fanned fret guitars?" Okay, as far as that, let me see, I've only had one baritone guitar. I've had 3 or 4, I think, 7-string guitars in here that you guys have seen that I still have reviews on. I'm just looking at the time on this thing, hour and 15. Okay. So I honestly am not well versed in baritone string gauges. All these 7 strings that I stayed with, or that I bought, one was a Squire, was a Showmaster or some kind of shit, with a reverse headstock, a blue one. It's still on here. If you just put Scott Grove 7-string, and then I got 2 from Matt Raines is his name. One was a Telecaster, one was a Strat. The one just looked like a Tele, one looked exactly like a Strat, and they were regular scale length, 25.5. The baritone, I just hated. So I don't even remember what was on it, so I honestly can't answer because I don't delve into those. I don't have a reason for them. I use pedals to get that sound, and they sound great. The fan frets, though, I'm a fan of. They make all the sense in the world. I've got one here somewhere. Got to remember which guitar it is. It's probably got to be one of these Brian Eastwood guitars. I know it is. It's probably both of them. Now those are actually very cool. And then I had gotten some crap from the Rondo thing. You know, those agile guitars and 7 strings and stuff. And they were back on the FedEx truck the very same day. Every time I would get anything from those guys, it was just so horrible, and just bridges were always in the wrong place. You couldn't intonate anything because you'd run out of space, or they'd be off to one side or the other, and the strings are going off the neck. So every single guitar that I ever got from that company went back really fast. The same day usually, and other people that would buy some from me that I would buy to resell because they sold them so cheap, and I could resell them here at a place where I did everything on consignment. People would bring them back to me and ask me to send them back too. Every single last thing from that Rondo joint that I ever ordered was sent back by me or asked to be sent back by me after somebody bought it. But the fan frets, let's see, here's one of the Eastwood guitars. Here's the Distortocaster. Okay, if anybody can see here. Okay, everything is, and then the frets will come this way. It's not as obvious as some, because you can see the bridge. Okay, so I know this is very different than what you're talking about, but it's still, and then they do fan. If you look there, everything, it's not, they're definitely pointed, but your hands actually, they go that way when you're playing, especially when you're way down this way, and you go to do a bar chord, your finger wants to be that way, so the frets might be. When you get up here, your fingers go this way. So it makes all the sense in the world that your frets should do that also if they can. And these are proof positive, and so many that are, I'll grab one more of their guitars. The pink one, you know, the Bent Marvel. But the fan frets are great. I've played them on other guitars where that was just the thing about them, was the fan frets. Okay, this big old dude, same thing. If if you see down here, see how the frets are, look at the nut. Again, look where the bridge is. So everything has to be funky like that, so the fan frets are very important on this. But I would honestly love to have at least a few guitars that had them on there, just because I've played the ones that have it, and it does feel way more natural than other guitars. Everything else I have hanging up here, I wish had it. It would be much more comfortable to play. Why I didn't have them done to my guitars, I honestly don't know. Probably just didn't even think about it, because that's one of those things that you don't think about until after, it's an afterthought. So, God, I hope I remember in my brain next time I have a guitar build, I'll just have the fan frets put on it, because it's a big plus. I mean, it's definitely not a detraction at all. Is it something you have to get used to? No, it really isn't. I mean, when you add another string to a guitar, you actually do have to get used to that. It's nothing that you can just throw on and then just start playing. I mean, everything's in the wrong place, unless you just play it all the time. But fan frets, if anybody hasn't played them, if you ever get a chance, do it, because again, like I said, everything, when you just put your hand on your fretboard, and when it goes up, and your finger determines how the frets should be on the fretboard, and then you get down at that end where you can't reach it, and it needs to fan that way. So they mean tilted frets, and then about in the middle they straighten out, and then when you get way up here they start going this way, so your frets are like that, and it's a beautiful thing. It's ergonomically correct. It means it fits your body the way your body is designed to fit how humans are designed. So why there's not more of that going on, I have no idea, because it should be. It honestly should be on everything. I know a lot of bass players have accepted it more than guitar players have, for whatever reason. It seems to be coming back into fashion with the multi-string guitars. When you get to the 7, 8, 9, and 10 string guitars, that you start getting that, because I mean, you have to. it's just hard. It physically just needs it in there. But I wish I could help you out with the baritone thing, but I honestly just haven't had enough experience with them to give you an educated answer. Let me see, I could do one more. And I can answer this one too, because I do have the technology on this, or I do have the answers firsthand. This goes to Arn, is it Knudson? Knudtson. Hello Scott Grove. What do you think about the Polytune pedals that are being made by Korg and TC Electronics? P.S. Your videos are groovy. Thank you, my fan. Still thinking of fan frets. Thank you, my friend. I can tell you about them right now, and I haven't tried the Polytune 2s. But the first ones, they suck dog. Don't buy them. They're not calibrated at all from use and use again, and trying some others, and then going back into the store and saying, look. And I actually brought the Con Strobo tuner in with me, and I plug it in, and it's like, it shows this one's in tune, and it's 5 cents flat on the high E. The B actually runs like 2 cents flat, and it's all over the place when it says it's in tune. They're not. I know there's a new Polytune 2 that's out right now that I haven't got to try, but the first round, if anybody owns one, check it. It'll be off. If you can put it through another tuner that you trust and see how off each one is, and then if you want to keep using it and remind yourself, well, this one has to be a little flat, this string has to be flat this way or sharp this way, this one it's honestly that far off that they are rendered useless. If you have one and you say, oh, mine's perfect though, it could be, but I've never played one that was even close to being on. You know, every string is close to being there, but one is so far off one way, and then the very next string is so far off the other way, flat. Do you get one sharp, one flat, then another one that might be straight on, next one's flat, next one's flat, and the last one's really sharp. It's honestly the way the polytunes are. If they have fixed them, and hopefully because enough people know it, and enough people have also done videos, you can just go right here on YouTube and put in the polytune, maybe put in some kind of word about being bad, failure, or no good, or whatever. Put some other word in to try to find a bad review, because there will be bad reviews on there, because there's no way of getting around not having a bad review on the Polytunes original one, because it's bad, bad, bad. I'm going to get me one of those Korg blackout tuners. That's my next one. And I don't know why I need any more tuners. I got way more tuners than I could possibly ever use, and some who knows. But there's your answer. Thanks again, guys. Again, this was episode 6 here in season 2. I've been Groovy, and so have you, and cousin Nigel, Mr. Gary Vagoda. Man, stay with me. Live on, dude. You're too fucking cool. And send me a picture now. I mean, if you're gonna go, you know I'm gonna miss the shit out of you, but send me a picture of you. I need to know who my friends are. I need more than just the great things you have sent me when you have nothing, to speak of, but you got something, man. You got a hell of a friend here. I'm worried about you. But send me a picture, dude, please. Some of you guys out there I actually want to know, so you get to see this ugly mug all the fucking time. And here's the coolest dude. I don't know how old you are, anything, but yet you're still just consistently one of my favorite people. So get a hold of me again, and one more time. Gary Vagoda, cousin Nigel, you guys see him? Wish him all the best, man. Keep him around. Take care. Bye-bye.